Sat Sri Akal ji, and hello and welcome to my channel Chai Samose. Today we're going to discuss about a very crucial case which took place in US. This case is about the hijacking of an aeroplane. So let's see how this hijacking took place and what was the initial program in order for the investigation. So this incident took place on 24th November 1971. This incident took place with the Northwest Oriental Airline. There is a flight from Portland to Seattle. So this is the place where it's nearby state. So this flight is the duration of this flight is only for 30 minutes. So there are 36 passengers and 6 aircrew flying from Portland to Seattle, and within this 36 passenger there is one hijacker with the name Dan Cooper. So no one know that there is a hijacker flying with them, because this Dan Cooper is wearing a blazer coat, and as soon the flight took place, he passed a note to the air hostess. So the air hostess was 23 years young lady, and she was thinking that this person trying to flirt with her. So she simply ignored the note and she was busy with her work. Then this Mr. Cooper, the Dan Cooper, told the lady that you shouldn't ignore my note, you should have read it. When she checked the note, it's written that this flight has been hijacked and I have a bomb with me. First of all, the lady didn't believe on the note and she was thinking that person was playing around. But then this Dan Cooper offered her to sit next to him, and this lady come and sit next to him, and then he exposed the bomb which he having. This was a bomb like it's a cylindrical shaped bomb with lots of wire connected to it. And this lady, here the air hostess show her smartness, and then she didn't get panic, she didn't express anything. She straight away go to the cabin and inform the pilot about the same. So there is one more air hostess, she knew about it. So this air hostess, 2 air hostess and the pilots know about the plane is been hijacked. However, the people, they don't know what is happening. So these people from the this crew member tried to contact the ground staff using their transmitter and inform them that the plane is been hijacked. And now they are coordinating with Dan Cooper as well. So this lady, the air hostess, is the medium to communicate with each other. And they are communicating with the pilots, and the pilot is communicating with the ground staff now. So they are trying to negotiate in order to safeguard of their passengers, and also this is the famous flight, so they don't want to ruin the reputation of the company. So these people trying to negotiate with this Dan Cooper, and then they end up with the negotiation where he requested for $200,000 and 4 parachutes. So it was done like they already informed those demand to the ground staff. Once they share the information, the ground staff, they reach out to the legal team, and the president of the airline and the president of the aviation also involved in it, and they seek help from the government and the local bank. That's a big amount, and even bank doesn't have that much of money, so they have reached out to some specific bank and they managed to arrange the money. Since that time, $20 bill was the biggest bill, and it was only the bill which is easily available. The biggest available bill was a $20 bill. So they trying to arrange all the money in that $20 bill. So then what happened? They are negotiating, and the funds has been getting. Flight journey from 30 minutes become 3 hours already. And the These passengers are still unaware that they had been hijacked. Meanwhile, this Cooper never harmed any of the passenger, neither the ground air staff or the ground staff is still communicating with him. After 3 hours 30 minutes, they finally managed to arrange the money, and the flight has been landed at Seattle. Meanwhile, this 3 hours, this flight was roaming around in the sky around the city of Seattle, where the passenger was informed that due to some technical problem, they are not able to land at the moment. As soon they receive the signal to land, they can only able to land at that time, and please help them to show some patience while we are trying to fix this issue as soon as possible. When the flight was landed, all the passenger was released, but the ground staff, only one person can reach out to this Cooper with the money and parachute. When he reached there, he take the money, and then he demanded to refuel the plane. The plane is being refueled, and as soon he received the money, the fuel is being refueled, and he received the parachute. He released everyone but 2 pilots and 1 air hostess, the one who they approached at the beginning. These 3 people are still a hostage of this DB Cooper, and as soon all his request has been fulfilled, he asked them to take off the flight and fly towards the direction of Mexico. While flying toward the Mexico, they direct him to fly at the height of 10,000 feet, and the wing should be tilted to 15 degrees, and try to fly the flight as slow as possible. The pilot informed DB Cooper, aka Dan Cooper, that it's not possible. If I fly in this speed and it's fly at this height, it is impossible for us to reach to the Mexico City. All of a sudden, he locked everyone into the cockpit, and he was at the backside of the gate of the plane, back gate of the plane. Suddenly, the crew member see there is a alarm saying, indicating that one of the door is being opened, and DB Cooper jumped from the plane. Nevada authority informed the local authorities, and then investigation is being. During this investigation, they are unable to find any trace of DB of bomb, and there is no trace of any information about this DB Cooper. They only managed to find 1 tie with a clip on it and some pieces of parachute. They believe that they used the pieces of parachute to tie this money around his body, which might weigh around 10 kgs and above. So now they are trying to figure out where this DB Cooper might went. So they're trying to, replicate the scenario. Meanwhile, they're trying to search for the local authorities and try to find the place where he jumped. They assume that this place might be the place where he jumped. But however, they are unable to find the traces of DB Cooper. They believe that the place where he jumped, it's a jungle with huge pine trees, a lake, and there are wild bears around. And even the climate was the harsh climate. It's because it's during the winter season. They believe that the day he jumped, the climate was very harsh and it was unpredictable. And in the beginning stage of investigation, they believe that the DB Cooper might have not survived the jump, and they think that he might have died during the jump. However, since they are unable to find the traces of this person, the investigation is still ongoing, and they're trying to figure out to find any trace of any DB Cooper, including the sign or part of the parachute, any money, or any other information they can find around. In fact, they reach out to the local authorities and the villages nearby where he make a jump, and they have reached out to the people and asked them to help them if they find any suspicious person on that day around this time. However, there is no trace for DB Cooper. During all these things, no one was aware that the plane has been hijacked. Even the passengers are not aware. Why I say the case name is a DB Cooper or Dan Cooper? Because during the investigation, they found that the ticket was booked on the name of Mr. Dan Cooper. However, during the investigation, one of the newspaper published the name incorrectly. Instead of Dan Cooper, they published as a DB Cooper. And following the information given in that newspaper, everyone started capturing the same name. And his name and this case name is set as a DB Cooper instead of Dan Cooper. So this is the interesting story about the name of the user who actually hijacked the page. Incidents within 5 months, there are 3 to 4 attempts is been made in the similar way, and all of this hijacker are survived and is been caught. So this mark as a question, like if they can survive, why can't DB Cooper can survive? And this is what they are not closing the investigation, and they still continue to find the trace of any trace of DB Cooper. They the serial number of the note in entire all the newspaper, all the shop, and circulate among all the cities nearby. And they have also set a reward that if anyone can find even one single bill of $20, they will be rewarded $1,000. But they keep this reward for 4 years, but none of the person came forward to claim this. So there is one more hijacking took place in 1972. This hijacker name is Martin McNally. So why this case has been highlighted, why this Martin McNally came into picture, and what happened to him? He actually did exactly the same thing, and instead of 200,000, he demanded for 500,000, and he also jumped from the plane, which is twice the speed of the plane of DB Cooper, and he also survived the jump. So these kind of question arising the curiosity and also putting the question mark on if why DB Cooper cannot survive if other people can survive. There is another theory also says that it was a winter season, and if he land in the lake, there are chances that within few minutes he will die with a hypothermia. But again, there is no trace, no body, and no even a single clue they've able to find about this DB Cooper. Even several local companies offer their submarine to help the search mission of DB Cooper in the lake, but they are unable to find anything, not even a single bill of $20. So these are the many questions arise with time, and people was curious, the accident took place, but all of the other hijacker who attempt to do the same been caught, but DB Cooper. So to replicate the incident, to replicate the jump, they try to drop the boxes around the place where they assume that the DB Cooper might have jumped. Also, they are calculating the speed of this jump, the time when he opened his parachute. So all these things they are calculating, but they are unable to find any trace, unable to find any clue, and this investigation is still going, and it's more than 8 years now. After 8 years, one of the pilot named Tom Wuhan have reached out to the FBI. So what he said that his flight was exactly 4 minutes after this DB Cooper flight, when he when they leave the airport from Seattle, and his flight was exactly 4 minutes after the flight of DB Cooper. So he was 4 minutes behind DB Cooper, but he was flying 4,000 feet higher than DB Cooper, and he gave the exact location where he think that where he might have the door were open and where he jumped. He managed to share some information about that. Since it's a night, it's very dark. He also informed that he can share the not exact location, but he can assume which can be the location, because the police and investigation where they are assuming is not the right place. At the same time, he also to inform them that during that night the weather was very harsh, and this is the one of the worst weather he ever faced in his entire career. So informed that they need to find, they have to initiate the investigation at Portugal River, at the drainage of the Portugal River. His assumption was right, and they managed to find some traces of $20 bill because one 8-year-old kid found few bills of $20 bills in very bad condition, in the torn condition, but it's still the bundle of the note. So they managed to find that the clue of DB Cooper, but still the DB Cooper is missing. So they give the rewarded amount to this kid and some notes, some bill as a token of appreciation to the bill. The assumption of Tom was so correct that they managed to find the traces of note, and the FBI start believing that he might have landed in the water of a river, and he might have due to hypothermia. But however, they are not assured, and they are not willing to give up on this case. However, as a token of appreciation, they gave some bill to the kid who found those bill. And later in 2008, this kid auctioned those notes for $37,000. However, they are unable to find the entire $200,000. The sum of money they receive is like $5,800. So where the other money is, the rest of the money, where it went, where is DB Cooper? It's still a mystery, and no one. They come across with the tie and the pin, and they found that in the pin they found the traces of certain unalloyed titanium, which it was using during those time to fabricate the flights. So there was a theory that he might be aeronautical engineer, or he might be a ground staff, or he might be a cargo loader, because the particle what they receive are linked with one of fashion. Then they start the FDA they start reaching out to the people, and they're trying to sketch the person. They release the first sketch with the description of the pilot and the air hostesses, and they say that the other passengers say no, this is not the accurate one. Then they do the second one and the third one. The third one was accurate. So this way they assume that this is the DB Cooper, how he look, and he might be, his professional might be either aeronautical engineer, or he's working in the workshop like aeroplane where they fabricate the airplane, or he might be somewhere related to aeroplane industry. There is one more investigation officer with the name Larry Carr. This person was studying this case from 2006 and 2009, and he come with his own assumption that this Cooper can be a cargo loader, because during that time the cargo loader used to be trained with a parachute jump during the time of emergency. With this assumption, they list out the 300 suspect which can be a DB Cooper. However, none of them seems to be actual DB Cooper, but this FBI have a strong belief. 300 people, they assume that 2 people can be a DB Cooper, and so out of this 20 people, they strongly believe one of their suspect with the name Richard McCoy. His story was very similar with DB Cooper, but he was the veteran from the Vietnam War, and he performed, or he executed the same hijacking exactly after 5 months of this DB Cooper incident took place. Exactly same trick, exactly same tactics, and everything is same, including the instruction given before he jumped. At the same time, when they showed his tie to their family, the family claimed that this tie belonged to him. However, whenever it was being asked to him, he neither accepted, neither he denied that he is a DB Cooper. Because of he was caught, he was being prison for 45 years. He was sentenced for 45 years. However, after 5 years, he tried to jailbreak, and during the encounter, he was shot and he was killed on the spot. However, this FBI is not willing to accept that the sketch of DB Cooper doesn't match with his face. Also, when this incident took place, he was not in Seattle. He was in Los Angeles enjoying his life that time. So this thing, they have a proof that he was not around there or he was somewhere else. He have all the proof of being somewhere else. So they deny to accept that. So there is one more suspect named Robert Rockstar. So he was on the top list of being a DB Cooper because his facial character matched with the DB Cooper suspect, and he have some history or record of being fraud and like cheating and fraud in his past. But whenever the media asks that he's a DB Cooper, he always joke around that I can be a DB Cooper. But at the end, he deny that he's not a DB Cooper, and in fact, FBI also agree because they don't have sufficient evidence to prove that he's a DB Cooper. 12 July 2016, they officially closed this case unresolved because they don't have sufficient evidence against anyone. And with the closure of this case, the mystery is said to be unresolved forever. This is all from my side. We'll see you again with another video, with another update about any latest interview or latest information with you guys. Meanwhile, please connect with my channel, Chai Samose. Thank you and good night.